So Mianzin set up a $100,000 layout contest, and although I'm not entirely sure how legitimate those $100,000 are going to be, I'm still going to try and build something for it. For the song, I am not going to be using this. It is a Nong, which is the same Nong used in Blank, the one on the challenge list. If there are two things that I know about Mianzin and all the higher-ups of Nox, it's that they love gimmicks and they love low object decoration. So why not try to create a low object impossible level? And by low object, I don't mean optimized, I mean under 50 objects total. I'm doing the roaming thing, but with an impossible level. Because I don't want to set up any portals, I'm gonna set it to what I think should be the optimal starting, which is just this. So the first thing I'm going to do is put down this and check it. This object will be removed after the level is done. So the first thing I'm going to do is take a black orb, center it, and then massively scale it up to 9 times. Now that hitbox more than fills the space. Then I'm going to new group, group 1, and then I'm going to set this as group 1 to lock player X for 999 seconds. And then to turn this from just a dual UFO to an impossible dual UFO, I'm going to select the black orb, edit special, and then allow multi-activate. What this does is that for each input you have to double-click on the same frame, which... There we go, I did it once. That's all well and good, but we don't actually have any gameplay yet. I'm going to take this, scale it up to 2 times, I think that'll be good. Put this on the next group, so move to instantly, like 30 blocks. So now I'm just gonna try and get the timings right for this. But now instead of copy and pasting this every 300 blocks or so, I'm going to set up a spawn trigger, select both of these, new group 3, edit object, spawn triggered, multi-triggered, and then set the spawn to activate group 3 after 3 seconds for now. And then to get the loop started, I'm just going to go spawn 3. And now the saw blade will go right past, and then it will teleport away, and there it is again. So I think that I need to increase the delay on that. So yeah, that is the saw blade completely worked out, which is most likely going to be the entirety of the gameplay for this section. And now then here I have a speed change, but I think that to make sure that this loop doesn't stop, I'm going to remove the speed change and instead put a big portal. So that's going to get us to 8-1 for the boilerplate portal is a total of 7 objects so far. There's a very high chance that this is getting changed. So here I want to add an additional element to the gameplay, and I think I'm going to have a sort of orbiting of these saws around the big saw. So on the next layer, I'm going to go like this, and probably scale these down even more. And then take that, I'm going to go like 90. So now there are going to be 4 of these, and then I'm going to have a few layers of these spinning around at different rates. And now then rotate 4 around 5. And then for probably 100, because it's a clean number, and then I can go 10 there. Actually, I think that's too small. 30. Okay, so now I'm going to select all of those, copy and paste them, tilt them 45, and then scale them out a bit. And this is already a lot of objects. So now that instead of 4, these are going to be 6. And then rotate 6, and then I'm going to have these being a negative 20. I want to try and keep this layout under 20 objects, but I don't think that's going to be possible with what I want to do. I'm going to select all of these, new group as 7, and then right here, 7 is going to be toggled off. And then here, when we get to this point, I'm going to toggle 7 back on. So I'm going to remove this big portal, because I think for the next section I'm going to want to use mini wave instead. Here is this wave portal. I'm gonna scale it up to 4 times, I guess, or that's not even necessary, 3.5. And now this is 20 objects, but there's no stopping point for the level right now, so I think I am gonna go up to 25. But then that gives me another idea. I am going to put a blue orb here, set that to allow multi-activate, and then scale that up to 9 times as well. And then I'm going to set this on 7 as well, and make sure that this is layered above the black orb. And then here, to mark the end of the level, I'm just going to make a black background fade. Okay, so I think that is too long, because it just sometimes appears. So 4 down to 3.9. Still is randomly appearing. 3.8 is still too much. 3.75. Ah, still too much. 3.7. 3.65. 3.6. Okay, so a quick change that I'm going to make is I'm going to set this black orb to group 8, and then over at the wave transition, I'm going to toggle off 8 to make sure that the blue orb is the one that's being hit. 3.61. 3.62. And it does work. Now that I have 3 objects left, and I think I know what all 3 of them are going to be. The first is something that I probably should have done at the beginning, which is some kind of ground spike. So I'm just going to set that to 1, and then see how far I can scale this up. My hope is that I can get some nice black glow on the top and bottom. Okay, so does that render in-game? It does not. Okay, so maybe 27 times was a bit too much. It does not render still. Oh wait, is it on Don't Fade? There we go, that fixes it. Now here you can't really see much. So I'm going to take these 2 and put this down onto B4. And then, as with most things, select all, Don't Fade, Don't Enter, Glow off. However, there are some things that I'm going to edit that for. For these objects, they can sometimes get caught on the very edge of the screen as a transition is happening, and to hide that, I'm going to turn off Don't Fade. And with that, that is 24 objects. And the last one is going to be a big portal right around where the music gets a bit more intense. Oh my goodness, I just realized something. This object can be deleted. It'll get rid of these lines, but now we have an entire extra object. Alpha, next group, 9. Set 9, set that to 0. And then select this portal and set them to group 9. And now it looks a lot better. Now here I'm making the ground spikes more transparent through a way too complicated method when you could just set them to a color black with half transparency. And now that gradient is a bit more subtle. And now then, I think I'm going to get on to the full showcase, and I hope that this ranks highly in the $100,000, definitely legitimate layout contest, assuming that there are other entries.